Hey there, this is Kellis Landrum from True North Social. We are a digital agency based in Los Angeles, California that can help you out with your digital marketing, social media, website design, SEO. We have a special focus in e-commerce, and we decided to put together a video series to help you guys to understand all the different parts of e-commerce website design. We have quite a few people who call us up and they're interested in some help getting an e-commerce website up. And sometimes people call us and they're not familiar with the process. They've never done it before. So if that's you, if you're looking to get an online store up for the first time, you're thinking about what kind of products do I have, what type of platform should I use? Should I use Shopify or Magento or WooCommerce? What's involved in the process? This video series is for you, right? We're going to discuss a lot of the basic concepts around e-commerce website design and what's involved. What makes e-commerce websites different than other kinds of websites, and what is involved in the scope of work if you hire someone to help you do this. So we're gonna have a couple of different chapters about different pieces of online stores, what's involved, and kind of give you a good overall idea of what's involved in this process. So let's talk a little bit first about what is specific to e-commerce websites. What makes them different than other types of websites? And the basic fundamental premise of an e-commerce website, as opposed to most other kind of websites, is that e-commerce websites are focused on a transaction, right? The end process is you are going to have something in your cart and you're going to go through checkout, right? What makes e-commerce what it is, essentially, is there's a transaction involved. You're usually taking someone's credit card information and you're processing it, and they are paying you for something. Now, I should mention in the scope of this video series, we're going to limit the type of transactions that we're dealing with to small physical products. We're limiting it to this because most e-commerce websites deal with physical products that are small enough to stick inside a regular size USPS box and mail somewhere, right? More difficult types of e-commerce websites deal with non-physical products, like signing up for a cooking class is much more complicated. If you have to sign someone up for a class and then they have to switch their class, or you have to create non-physical tickets to things, much more complicated. Most e-commerce websites deal with something like Santa Fe Olive Oil. Here is a website we did. They sell olive oil and vinegar and some accessories, but all of these products fit into a small cardboard box that you can mail to someone pretty easily. None of their products weigh more than a couple of pounds. It's pretty standard stuff. Most of you out there are probably selling products like this, things like t-shirts, small food goods, something like that. So this is the kind of thing we're going to deal with, right? Now, I mentioned that because there are all sorts of different websites out there. We also do a lot of websites for companies that offer services. But the goal of those kind of websites is they're trying to generate a lead, right? They're not online stores because they are not trying to conduct a transaction. They are not trying to take someone's money, right? And I bring this up because sometimes we get people who say, hey, we want to build a website on Shopify or Magento or WooCommerce or some sort of e-commerce platform, but their goal is not to take someone's money. Their goal is not to conduct a transaction. And in those cases, we generally recommend they try some other platform. WordPress is pretty standard for those. You can use bigger ones, more complicated ones. But this is sort of the first thing to know about designing an e-commerce website is your goal should be at the end of the day to take someone's money, process their credit card transaction, and generate an order. This is kind of where you draw the line between e-commerce websites and basically any other kind of website, because everything involved in designing an e-commerce website revolves around getting someone to add something to their cart, go through checkout, so you can take their money and generate an order, right? So this is sort of our global scope, right? If you can't conduct a transaction, we call your store broken, right? We use broken as a broad term for being non-functional in the sense that you're not able to accomplish the main goal that you are trying to accomplish. There may be lots of other little goals. You may define a micro goal as getting somebody to go to a product page, getting someone to sign up for your email list. Those are all what we call micro goals. The macro goal is generating a transaction. So we're going to define everything we're talking about based on the goal of getting somebody to buy, right? Getting someone to fill out the forms in the checkout process with their credit card number and complete that process, right? Let's see. Now, all online stores are a little bit different, right? Because you may have different products for different companies. You can use different online store platforms like Shopify or Magento for different types of products, right? You may be selling clothing for women, clothing for men, clothing for children. You may be selling food products. There are a lot of different things that you can sell, but all of these online store platforms are designed in a fairly similar way because the structure of them is fairly similar with all of these different types of product transactions, right? They are generally constructed out of a few different things, and it's because I'm gonna use the example I heard from Tobias Lowkey, who is the CEO of Shopify. We went to Shopify's conference several years in a row. I heard him give a keynote speech where he talked about the purpose of Shopify as they see it is 80% of merchants have the same set of needs, right? They need to conduct a transaction. They need to they have products that they need to sell. They need to be able to create those products. They need to be able to facilitate a customer adding those products to a cart and having them go through checkout, right? This is pretty universal across the board for almost every online store. And almost every online store is going to have some of the same certain pieces regardless of what product you're selling. And I should say all online store or e-commerce website platforms like Shopify or Magento, they facilitate the structure, right? Virtually, I'm just going to say every rather than virtually every. Every online store is going to have a few pieces that universally across the board, they're going to have a homepage, right? Just like this one. It's going to feature whatever they want to sell, hopefully, and try and entice somebody to buy. This is one of the pages that's going to be in every online store and really just about every website ever. In addition to the homepage, I'm just going to say every online store is going to have a collection of products of some sort. The only reason that an online store would not have a collection page is because they only sell one product, right? If you sell more than one product, you need a collection page that will allow a customer to view all of the products you offer or certain collections or categories of the products you offer, right? This particular store shows several different collections of products. almost every merchant will have more than one product, and they will need to organize their products into collections, just so to help customers find whatever it is they're looking for, right? So this is a standard page template within Shopify, within Magento, within WooCommerce, within virtually every platform you're going to look at. The next page template is the product page. This is going to have some very common elements, and it is essential to e-commerce. It's because every store is going to sell products, and every product has to have some common elements. They additionally should have some other elements, and they may have some other elements. So let's take a look at these elements, right? Every product must have a title, right? We must tell people this is the product that you are going to buy. It must have a price, and it must have an add to cart button, right? These are the three main essential ingredients that you must have for every product. Without these elements, you cannot have a product to add to a cart. The reason being that when we go to the cart page, we need to be able to list the items that someone is buying and the price, right? Now, in addition to that, a product very well should have a picture of what this product looks like. It doesn't have to. Non-physical products may not have a picture. A gift card may not have a picture. A class you were signing up for may not have a picture. An ebook may not have a picture if there's no cover for it, right? But any physical good should most definitely have a picture of it. It should also have a quantity, just in case someone wants to buy more than one of these. If it comes in, even if it only comes in one size, it should have a size. If it has multiple sizes, it should have the sizes listed along with it. And it should have a description. It should tell people what this product is, probably what is contained in this product. Any pertinent information or important details about a product should be included in the product description. And as I mentioned, it should have, a product must have an add to cart button, because you have to be able to add it to the cart. I just added this one, and now it's shown in the cart here. I'm going to close this thing here. You can add as much description text as you want to a product. It may have size variations. If you're selling clothing, it may have size charts along with it. It's often a best practice to add some social media sharing options to it. I would say best practice is also, you may also like, we're going to go into some more detail about product pages in another video, but this is a product page. This is a pretty standard product page template. A online store will also have a cart. All online stores need to have a cart because someone needs to be able to review what they are buying. I'm just going to add another product to my cart so we can see there are more products in my cart, right? This is a preview of the cart. This is showing me what's in my cart. I can add as much to my cart as I want. And then I am going, once I've decided, yeah, this is what I want, I'm going to go through checkout process. And again, I'm going to create another video that goes through the shopping cart process, or I'm sorry, this is a cart page going through the cart, going through all of these page templates in a little bit more detail. But the summary here is most any e-commerce website will have a home page, a collection page, a product page, a cart page, and a checkout process, which is a series of pages or series of screens. These are all fundamentally crucial in the process of processing a transaction. That wasn't very kindly worded, but in order to take someone's money, you're going to need all of these things, right? I'm going to go back one step here. I'm going to mention one other crucial piece of any online store. maybe two crucial pieces: a header and a footer. These are not page templates. They are universal to every page on the website. And in fact, almost all websites, regardless of whether they are e-commerce sites or not, have a header and a footer, and they are virtually always the same from across every page of the website. Websites are constructed fundamentally this way as a best practice for many different reasons I'm not going to get into in the course of these videos. But it's significant to mention because when we design custom websites, even when we do e-commerce website setup, setting up the header and the footer is a different process than setting up the individual pages themselves, right? So these are the basic pieces of a e-commerce site that we're going to be discussing throughout this series. Let's see. Okay, one last thing to note as we're going through this process. We are going to talk about both the front end and the back end of e-commerce websites. And we are going to use Shopify as our platform for an example of how we do these websites. Now, I'm going to just caveat this by saying the concepts that we're going to talk about are the same across any e-commerce platform, right? It's the same, the concepts behind what we're selling are the same whether you use Magento or Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever platform you want to use, right? All the things I've talked about in this video so far, they apply to every platform, right? But the platform we're going to show you the back end of is Shopify. And the reason we're using that platform is because it is generally the simplest one for merchants to use. Magento is much bigger, much more complex. Generally quite a bit more difficult to use. WooCommerce we're not showing because WordPress is not strictly an e-commerce platform. You can use it for a lot of different types of websites besides just e-commerce websites. We generally recommend it for every other kind of small-scale website besides e-commerce websites. WordPress is a great platform. It's just not great for online stores. It's not really built for that. WooCommerce is a WordPress plugin that allows you to do e-commerce, but it's not a true e-commerce platform. So we're going to look at the back end of Shopify. And I'll give you a quick preview of the back end of a Shopify store. We're going to get into a little bit more detail about some of the specifics of this in some of our other videos. But rest assured, if you, we're going to try and release one of these video blog posts weekly. We're going to do one where we're going to cover the header and the footer, right? This is the header. This is the footer. We are going to cover the homepage in a little bit more detail. We are going to cover the collection page in a little bit more detail. We are going to cover the product page in a little more detail. We are going to cover the cart page in a little bit more detail, show you some of the things you can do with that. And we're going to cover the checkout process in a little bit more detail, right? Now, these are all what we would call the front end of the website. These are all of the parts of it that a customer will see, right? Separately, we are going to do individual videos for some specific sections of the back end of this. We are going to cover the products. We're going to cover the products overview. And we're going to cover individual product pages from the back end. We are also going to cover collections and what's involved in creating a collection, some of the creating manual collections as well as creating automated collections. This is pretty important. And we're also going to cover orders, right? These are all fundamental things you are going to need to understand in order to run an online store. Again, we talk about this because we have a lot of merchants call us who have a successful retail business. They have been operating a business for years, selling, in the case of Santa Fe olive oil, selling olive oil, selling vinegar, selling a lot of stuff. They know this business very well. They have a retail store that's pretty successful. They do some wholesaling, right? There's a lot of merchants like this who have a great product and know their business. They just haven't sold anything online before. And they're really interested and eager to learn about it and become successful because they realize that this is a business that is growing, or this is another segment of business, another channel of business that is growing that will allow them to make a lot more money. So when they come to us, they want to understand what's involved. How can you help us in our effort to design an e-commerce website? What are we going to need to do? And what is the process? So throughout the course of these videos, we're going to do our best to help you understand what's involved, what are the pieces, and how you can work with us or any other agency out there that does e-commerce website design in basically any capacity to help you be successful and understand what are the questions you should be asking them, what's involved, and if they are in fact the right partner for you or not. So stay tuned, keep checking back with our website. Once again, my name is Kellis Landrum. We are True North Social, and we hope this helps. Thanks.